15% of men have no friends. 15%? How did you end up in the club? Fell into depression. Stopped contacting people and stopped responding to invites to anything because I don't want to do anything. Then years went by in a flash like this and I just lost contact with everyone. Same here. Basically. And also just a general disconnect from other people. I could make friends if I really wanted to, but the problem is that I always feel so disconnected. It always feels like it's something I'm just going through the motions of. I have a really hard time meeting people I genuinely connect with. It's a me problem lol. I know this isn't going to reflect well on me. I'm basically in the same situation, but honestly I just don't like most people. It's not like some edgy thing where I hate everyone. I don't want to be around them. I'm simultaneously lonely and not wanting to be around most others lol. For this, I've learned it's a spectrum. No friend will be perfect and there are different levels to how long you may want to spend with them. A best friend you could spend all day with, go on a camping trip, etc. A good friend you will spend the evening with, maybe take a day trip somewhere. An okay friend is someone you only want to see in short spurts, maybe around an event, game, sport, pub, etc. My point is, it's okay to have just okay friends who you occasionally spend a few hours with and then start to get tired of them and go home by yourself. Coming from having multiple best friends and good friends in the past, it was a hard pill to swallow. But as adults sometimes you'll only be able to make okay friends you can hang with for an event then don't talk to for a while. Never had friends growing up. Just used to it now. I never really had any close friends until maybe grade 5. Then it was a loose group of a few guys. But I found out they all basically didn't invite me to their birthday parties. Ouch as a kid. Early high school I made a small dedicated friend or two, but moved schools and lost touch basically immediately. Late high school I made a core group or outcasts into a great friend group for a few years. But eventually that all fell apart with some interpersonal drama and bad behavior on all our parts. But especially them. Tried to apologize myself and rekindle the friendships. But it just never came back. Now as an adult there are sparsely anyone I meet I could give a rest about and that's just the truth. I like humble people, genuine people, smart and funny people, people who have large and varied interests. But those people don't seem to exist. And if they do, I don't encounter them. I was always the backup friend. After high school communication stopped, and I didn't reach out either. Now at 30 plus people already have their fringe drops or no time. So never making any new friends, just colleagues or acquaintances. Or the floater friend who had friends in many groups, but never friends to call their best friends. I've been trying to explain this to people, but they don't seem to get it. I'm kinda like that too. Those groups often accept your presence, but do not count you as a member, and therefore rarely invite to. I stopped being the one to reach out first. You'll quickly realize people really don't care about you. I stopped caring. I feel that happened. I understand why people didn't reach out, but yeah, doesn't matter now anyway. I misjudged them as friends when they were only just acquaintances. Wow, this one's too real. Always a horrible feeling when you realize you think more of someone than they do of you. Why is this bad? Don't we do this constantly with celebrities? Simple. Friends get coupled up, married, kids, and then barely initiate hangouts. Visits get more and more spread out. I initiate travel to visit friends. They are busy and distracted. Their wives give off the vibe that they'd rather not have visitors around, so I respectfully give them their space, and then years can go by between visits. We then slide into our mid-40s and 50s. Time increasingly compresses. It stings because in my younger years it all felt so permanent and solid. Good comment. This is what often gets left out of these posts. People who do maintain friendships, but when you finally organize the odd visit, the person is totally checked out the entire time and is unable to be present at all. I recently flew across the country to visit a longtime friend and he just seemed stressed, tired, kind of checked out, and uninterested the whole long weekend. When I got back home I couldn't help but think, shit, that was a waste of money. Book off work. Spend my savings. go to be there, and the guy can't even focus for like 10 minutes on his house guest. And I get life is hard as an adult. But damn, some people just forget to play. I think we are here a limited time. Have some fun. The people I still see, I see so much less often. And so we are losing what we once had in common. We don't go out to do things together anymore, but to check in, to see how everyone is doing. I'm slightly bummed right now. I thought it was a larger percentage. But maybe that is a really good thing the numbers are not higher. The answer is simple. I had friends. I lost friends. I did not replace friends. And now like 12 years later I'm posting on Reddit. This is me as well. Always had lots of friends around growing up. Life starts happening with relationships, school, work, moves, etc. And the group got smaller and smaller as people and I moved on. I'm introverted and don't share in the stereotypical male interests, sports, beer, cars. So it became all but impossible to add people to my friends group in order to replace those who moved on. Then about 15 years ago there was a falling out with the final core group between myself and one other person. Problem was the other person and the rest of the group had been friends since kindergarten and I didn't come in until teen years. Everyone else assured me they still considered me a friend and wouldn't abandon me, but that's what ultimately ended up happening. I would always reach to friends until I realized they didn't reciprocate. Once I stopped, my life became less stressful. Got married, moved to a new city, then had children. My life is work, kids, house/chores with little time left. Mid-40s. Meeting other dudes is always weird and uncomfortable. They already have friends. Wife is also introverted. Only has a few friends whose husbands are not guys I would hang out with other than when kids are all together. Finally, my hobbies are pretty singular. Reading, movies, working on my house. Hope when I have more time I can find some friends. Lol. Saddest part is my boomer parents have a ton of friends. They're way more busy socially with vacations and cruises and constant parties. I'm all like, you're 80. Yeah, I've got a wife though. That's pretty good. Thanks. She's awesome and definitely my best friend. I love that you sound like you're both besotted with each other and enjoying every minute together. She's a lucky girl to have you. I'm just not overly social and most of the things I enjoy doing don't really need a group to do. And a lot of the things I like to do, I could just never found people in my social circle that both they enjoyed doing it and I enjoyed doing it with them. This is where I'm at. By chance, are you an outdoors guy also? I have lots of friends, but I'm poor at maintaining relationships a large part of the time because I would rather do my own thing, or what I or they are doing does not match up to what sounds interesting to me. I stopped drinking. This one is criminally underrated. I quit drinking 10 years ago, recovering self-destructive alcoholic. My former friends were old and hardly ever do anything that didn't involve drinking. So I had to cut myself out for my own betterment. Autism, anxiety, and depression. Nothing I try seems to change anything. I've never been in a relationship either. I feel like I'm a lost cause, and no one seems to care. Oh, this is me too. I don't know if anyone cares about other people. I don't especially care about other people, though I suppose I care about myself. I care. If someone comes to me for help, I help. If someone wanted to be my friend, I would try to be friends. I don't care about myself actually. I do care about others. This is one of the reasons I'm married so long. I put my wife and family ahead of myself. Was happy when my wife went out with friends. When I hit a bad part, the emotional and physical connection was being denied. My wife didn't understand why the connection was so important. I kinda blew up at her with loneliness and rejection. At least you have friends was the main thing I said. She was shocked. She goes out with friends for meals 6 times a year. In the last 13 years I haven't hung out with anyone apart from my family. They keep having kids and ignoring my calls. Tired of fighting to be in their lives. A kid is a death touch for many friendships. You might still call them your friend, but it's never going to be the same again. Gonna get downvoted for saying this, but that's honestly just a cop-out. Won't be the same. Of course it won't, but you can just adapt the friendship to suit, but have to want to. If you and your bud ride dirt bikes, that's gone. If you and your bud go hiking for the day, that's gone. It's just reality. I won't ditch my new parent friends, but I immediately accept that the friendship we once had is dead, and the new friendship is going to be a lot tamer and typically revolve around grabbing a beer after work or joining them in some family-friendly activity. I started noticing I was putting more energy into the friendships that the others were. At some point I stopped messaging first, and then that was that. Had a kid. Everyone stopped contacting unless they needed something. Man. I have a few friends left. We text once every 6 months. Say we should get together, then never do. I cut everyone off on purpose. Deleted all my social media accounts. Stopped answering texts. Skipped out on funerals and family events. I suppose I was depressed. I didn't want to drag others down with me. I also didn't want the responsibility of friendship. Now I'm completely alone. And at least I can't hurt anyone but myself. Are you no longer depressed? They died. 6 in 6 weeks. Just avoided attachment ever since. Ah man, that's rough. That's the negative lottery right there. Glad you're still here though. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Didn't go out of my way to avoid people. I think I was sick and missed the class on how to make friends that 85% of men went to. I often feel like I have no friends, but I actually do have friends. I just work nights and I never see anyone except for my coworkers. Then I have nights like tonight, where my whole job is just to watch this guy sleep. It's isolating and makes you feel like you have no one. That's why I'm on Reddit. I just want to interact with people in some way. Then again, I'm getting paid to sit in a chair and play on my phone, so that's pretty cool. You watch a guy sleep, lol what? Is it a hospital sleep study? I'm a CNA, and when we have patients who are suicidal, someone needs to stay in the room with them and make sure they don't hurt themselves. Yes, this is a hospital. The thing that's dumb about it is that I always talk my patients into feeling calm. I'm good with C patients because I was hospitalized for suicidal ideation myself, and I know exactly how I would want to be treated in the same situation. A lot of people don't understand how easy it is to help another human being just by talking about good things, steering the conversation towards a positive place. Legit, I just ask people about their favorite foods, favorite songs, and try to make them think of the best parts of life. Then I sell them the idea of going to an AA meeting, and they're usually responsive to it because they're usually addicts or alcoholics. Then we go. They get outside themselves for an hour, and they feel like they can sleep peacefully. So I just sit and go on Reddit while they don't try to kill themselves. What irks me is when people talk to C patients without any compassion. It's disgusting to me that someone would behave in some of the ways I've seen nurses or other CNAs talk to patients. Nothing worse than talking someone down off the ledge and then having some dolt come in be completely indifferent. Why you wanna kill yourself anyway? You seem fine to me. Ugh. I never had any friends later on like the ones I had when I was 12. Jesus. Does anyone? Sadly, even those guys didn't stay friends in adulthood. Vern got married and worked in a warehouse. Telly did odd jobs and was a transient. Gordy became a writer. And poor Chris. At one point it was because my lying abusive GF's lies and BS were believed. F those people anyway. I'd rather stay home and watch my Fire TV. Is it fire? When you realize that those you might be interested in hanging out with have top priorities of family, careers, and pets and can never find time to fit you in if they haven't moved away first. I just prefer being alone than having fake people around me. Basically moved to a place where is buttfuck nowhere for my job, buttfuck nowhere people live conservatively. I don't share their viewpoints in 99% of the things. So live quietly, do my S, and go and secretly harbor resentment and actively looking for a way out. I got tired of the betrayals and finally stood up for myself. My friends decided that video games and Netflix are more important, so we no longer talk. I have social anxiety and obviously people don't approach you first. Even people who know me don't really have an interest in communicating with me. Same. It's the double-edged sword of not interacting and feeling alone, but not wanting to interact because I don't want to be around people. Military. Dad did 20, then I turned around and did 20. I keep in contact with a small amount of people I've met throughout my career, but I've moved every few years my entire life. I'm used to leaving people behind. It's second nature to me now.